everybody and welcome back to my channel. We are in the kitchen today and that can only mean one thing. Yes, of course, we are baking yet again. Let's see how this one fails. I honestly think the last baking video I did was back in Vlogmas, which is so long ago. But I done a Viennese finger biscuit recipe and they turned out absolutely incredible. So if you want to know how to make them, head on over to Vlogmas on my vlogging channel and you can find that. But today, I am baking from the Great British Bake Off home recipe book. And I have picked out this lovely recipe of a Bakewell tart, which was a judge's recipe, and it was actually Mary Berry's recipe, and Mary Berry is probably my favourite person on this planet. Hoping it's gonna go okay. Hoping. So I'm gonna put the oven on at 180 degrees because it's, I don't know, gas mark / fan is what it says. I don't know what one it actually is. Also, I'm going to put this recipe over on my blog and you can find that down below. So if you click on the recipe down below, that will take you to my blog, and then that will take you to the post where I've posted the recipe of this, so you don't have to remember what I'm saying or what I'm doing. First of all, for the jam, you need 200 grams of raspberries and 250 grams of jam sugar. So I'm just using everyday Co-op raspberries. Do you know, I haven't had a raspberry in so long, I literally can't remember what they taste like. They're quite nice actually. And I am also using Tate & Lyle jam sugar. So to make the jam, put the raspberries in a small deep-sided pan and crush them with a potato masher. Add the sugar and dissolve over a low heat. Increase the heat and bring to the boil, then boil for 4 minutes. Remove from the heat and pour in a shallow container. Cool and then cover until you need them. So I'm just going to use my little saucepan like this. I'm going to pour all my raspberries in there, and I'm just going to whack them on the hob like that. Oh my god. And you need 200 and that just went everywhere. You need 250 grams of jam sugar. So your raspberries and sugar should look like this in the pan, and all I'm going to do is give them a little stir until they start to dissolve. Oh fuck, you meant to crush them, aren't you? Ah! So don't forget to crush your raspberries like I just did with a potato masher, and then you can put the heat on to about 5, and in no time at all you should have some jam. You all just saw me pour my raspberry jam into that container, and that's the container that I'm going to leave it in so it can cool down. Next on my list is to make the pastry, and I have been a little bit naughty because I am using short crust pastry from the Co-op. I have tried making pastry before and it failed miserably, so I'm not going to try it again. If you do want to go with normal pastry, then I shall put it in the description in the blog so you guys know how to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pastry, this is weird, my pastry out of here, and I'm going to put it onto a board. As this pastry is already pre-rolled, I'm just going to put it straight onto my tin. I'm using this tin. This is a special like tart tin, if you like. It's got a loose bottom It's got a loose bottom, so you can actually like pop it up and get it out, which is really easy. I got this from Essentials, which is like really good. So what I'm going to do after that, once you have got your lovely pastry case, make sure you press it into the corners as well so it stays. I'm going to get some baking paper and just literally just rip it off and pop it over your tart like so. And then all I'm going to do is get my ceramic baking beans, just gently pour them in. Because this is a pastry, I am going to blind bake it, and I am going to blind bake it for 15 minutes and then take it out, take the beans out, take everything else out, and then just cook it for a further 5 minutes. Be careful not to touch these when they come out. They will be so hot. I've made that mistake before. That is my timer going off. It smells amazing. It hasn't gone the best how I would like it to. When I pulled this up, there was this bit of pastry on the bottom, which means that it should have done more for the blind bake. I'm going to measure 150 grams of caster sugar. Again, I'm just using the Tate & Lyle caster sugar. And I'm also going to be using the Stork Perfect for Cakes, and again that is 150 grams as well. I'm going to pop this in there with the sugar, and using my Kenwood hand mixer I am going to whisk that all together. Once you've whisked it all together, it should look like this. It should be very fluffy. All you're going to do next is, where am I? Add the ground almonds, the egg, and the almond extract. So I'm using 1 egg, which I've just broken accidentally. Woo! I'm using the Co-op ground almonds, and there is 150 grams in here. So I'm going to be using all of them. Almond extract. 1 little teaspoon. And it goes. I never realised Bakewell tart was almond based. I'm such an idiot. My pastry case has flopped a little bit around the sides. I don't know how and I don't know why it's done that, but it's like flopped major down the sides. So all I'm going to do now is put some of my raspberry jam along the bottom of the pastry case. So this is your jam. It should have it should be like springy on top, if you can see that. So once you've done that, and you've got the pastry, the jam in there, you need to spoon the mixture out over the top of it evenly if you can. So like that. Hopefully yours will look a bit better than mine. So I'm now going to put that back in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. I have finally taken my Bakewell tart out. The time is currently 25 past 4. I don't know what time I put it in. It's actually been in there for about 45 minutes. This is what it looks like at the minute. And I'm just going to literally pop it up. Oh no. different that way. So this is what it looks like overall. Ow! It's hot. This is the pastry case, and this is the top of it. Okay, there's been a bit of a jam explosion this side as well. But overall, it looks alright. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna leave that there just to cool down. And once it is cool, we can start doing our icing. It's a few, I literally feel like I've been asleep. It's been I think it's been like about an hour, so I've just left it to cool. This is what it looks like now. See, from this way it looks alright. From this way, whoa, this is all like my jam spillage there, which we'll just look at it from this way. Next of all, I'm going to start doing the icing. For the icing, you will need some icing sugar, some almond extract, and some pink food colouring. I don't have pink, so I am using red. All you have to do is mix the icing sugar with the almond extract in cold water. Transfer 3 tablespoons of the icing into a separate bowl, tint with a little food colouring, and make a raspberry coloured icing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put all my icing sugar into a small bowl. In this bowl, I'm just going to put all my icing sugar in. I'm not going to measure it because I'm not. I'm just going to start off with about this much icing sugar. The beauty with this is if you need to have more icing or whatever, you can add more to it. So it's better to make less than to make more in the beginning. And I'm just going to add some water to this first. Once you've got all your icing, so this is my white icing, and then in a little separate bowl I'm going to make up some more icing and make that icing pink. Right, so once you've got both icings ready, I am going to put obviously the white icing on first because that's the base icing, and I'm just going to do it like so. Once you put your icing on, I've literally dribbled it over the top and spreaded it around with a spoon, but I've literally just dunked it in a tub of hot water just so it spreads easier. I'm going to wait for this white icing to actually set before I put this on. So this is my finished bakewell tart. I'm gonna hold it so I don't drop it. I probably should have let the icing dry a bit more before I've got icing all down my top, before I had done the lines because it's kind of run. But it looks alright, it's not that neat. I didn't have a piping bag like it suggests. So the bakewell, so annoying. The bakewell is done and set. The icing has set, so I'm going to cut it and give it to my loyal tasty. So now for the taste test. Is it nice? It doesn't look cooked.
No, I think it is.
You sure? Well, when I done it, it came up clean. It comes up clean. Is it nice?
That's how it's supposed to be, I think.
Have a bite.
Soft. Makes you keep eat your heart out.
Oh, that is really nice.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So overall, I'm gonna say this recipe was actually fairly easy. I know I used ready rolled short crust pastry anyway, which made it easier, but it was a simple recipe, one that didn't take a lot of work, and one that worked out rather well. So I'm actually very proud of it. I'm just going to taste it now and see what it tastes like. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you want to check out the recipe, I will leave it down below on my blog, so go and check that out. And don't forget to come back next time. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Bye!